Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the Soviet La-200, a new jet fighter, well maybe heavy fighter in the Soviet line, and this has been a much anticipated fighter, brute to look at, absolutely badass, and let's see how it flies. The maximum speed in this plane is 1083 kilometers an hour at sea level. We go up to 4500 meters. You will make the plane go up to 846 kilometers an hour, and at 6500 meters she can get to 741 kilometers an hour. Now that is good speed. You gotta remember this plane sits at 8.0 battle rating firepower. This plane sits at 8.0 battle rating in realistic battle, and it has very good performance for that battle rating. Down tiers are very easy, at least that's how it feels, and up tiers can be difficult because of some of the characteristics of this plane. Top speed in a dive in this plane is 1066 kilometers an hour before it redlines and 1160 kilometers an hour before it rips apart. Now that is quite nice, especially in an 8.0 plane for top speed in a dive. The rip speed specifically lies very far, very high, and that is a very good benefit to have in this plane. Control stiffening though, let's check that out in that dive. The control stiffening starts a tiny bit at 850 and becomes slightly worse at 950, but it really stays the same all the way through. The elevator stays functional, so you can definitely pull out up until about 1100 kilometers an hour. So that's good. The roll rate is only average though, and as we just missed that guy, bloody hell. But I was still getting used to the guns on this thing. Anyway, average roll rate. But the stall speed in a plane, if you take it up, is pretty good. The plane has two engines. It is a big ass plane and it needs two engines to fly. And but it definitely helps in the stall speed. Stall speed with 150 is quite nice. The firepower in this plane is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. You have 3x 37mm N37D cannons with 50 rounds per gun. I used air targets with an 800 meter convergence in these matches. And so like I said, fantastic guns, ammo load is good, and you are a force of destruction in this plane. If people get in front of your guns and you get the lead right, you absolutely shattered planes apart. That is fantastic. Now, what about the flight performance? The acceleration in the plane in a straight line is very good, and in a dive it is good to very good. Energy retention in the horizontal is excellent, and in the vertical it's good. The climb rate on top of that is also good, so in stall maneuvers this plane can do very nice. From top speed at sea level you can get up to 5500 meters before it stalls. So that is very nice. And overall the climb rate, especially the zoom climb, is very nice in this plane. The thrust with these two engines is very nice, and it is a joy to fly. I really had fun in this plane. Turn time in the plane is average though. As you can see, this is a big beast. If you take off from the airfield you dwarf anything else sitting on the runway. It is absolutely huge, and the turn time is not spectacular. The flaps make it a little better, but not above average, and the flaps only rip off at 680 kilometers an hour, so that's quite alright for the flaps to rip off. The roll rate is also average, like I said. It is not as bad as you would expect from such a plane, but compared to the planes it can face in up tiers, like the Sabres and the CL-13s and the Hunters and all that jazz, they are pretty much all have better roll rate. G91 for example, there's so many planes to mention that have better roll rate than this thing, and the turn time also isn't magnificent. So the overall maneuverability is average, and that's really not the strength of this plane. You want to be boom and zooming in this thing. and use it as a support plane. You do not want to be the focal point of air dogfights in this plane, no way. Overheating in the plane, well, it is present. It will overheat if you keep it running at 100% all the time. It is very easy to cool off though, although it becomes easier and easier to overheat the plane, as the engines run very quickly to the point where you left it off before you cooled it off. So there is that, but it is easy to cool off, and if you keep an eye on it from the beginning, you will be good for the rest of the match, until you have to go back to the airfield like I had to get more ammo, and you get shot down on the airfield. That happens. It happens. I kind of misjudged the distance between those 4 enemies and us in the airfield, and when 2 of my allies had gotten off the airfield and they went into the air, I thought, well, that's fine, they will engage those guys and I will be good to reload, but those guys came back to the airfield and took all those 4 guys with them. So that was nice, but it happens, it's life. Nice shot. Durability in the plane, it does not take wing damage too well, but for the rest it's okay. It's sometimes if you get a bit of wing damage on only one wing, it's a bit hard to land her, but it's for the rest it's okay. And I haven't quite tested it, but it's a theory of mine that you can actually get home on one of these engines. I'm not sure, because I have not had the pleasure to have one engine die on me and the other still running. But I assume that is an advantage of this plane. When you have 2 engines, one gets taken out, you might still be able to get home. But let's see, all in all, this plane is very good at an 8.0 beta rating. It is a joy to fly, it feels very steady, and although the performance is not magnificent in all areas, it has good speed for 8.0, it has fantastic firepower, and the behavior with the acceleration and the energy retention is good enough to be competitive even at 9.0. So this is one of those good 8.0s. But like I said, if you get mixed up in a dogfight, you will lose against most of your opposition. Get out of the way of that other guy. I don't want to see 2 La-200s crash together. That would be a gigantic mess, wouldn't it? Now let's see if we can get another match. There is several 8.0s in this match. The matchmaker at the moment is very generous. I got a lot of matches with 8.0s and stuff like that, but also up tiers, like the first match that I showed you, where we got killed on the runway. But there seem to be a lot of people that are flying 8.0 at the moment as well. So yeah, that is quite nice. Maybe trying to unlock the 3 new jets that we have in game right now, right? That is of course true as well. There we get a crit on that guy. How we can get a crit with 3 37mm is beyond me, but okay, we got a crit and not a kill on the P80. I feel we should have been shredded, but I guess it was just 137. And this guy jays out, and we'll see that guy will remain jaying out and continue to do that. Every time he comes back in, he goes back out. Very annoying. He's the last guy in the match, and we are with 4 or 5 guys above the airfield here trying to finish the match and get back into a new match. Unfortunately, he manages to keep us busy for a little bit longer. I only have 3 rounds left, so I kind of miss those shots. It is quite you have to get used to the aim, of course, but once you get it, you start to shred it. It is really a fantastic firepower, and look at this brute. This plane looks absolutely brutal. I'm in love with the looks of this plane. Absolutely magnificent. 2 kills and 1 assist in this match. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and what kind of results we got for that performance. We've got Terror of the Sky, Bulletproof, 58,000 silver lines and 5,300 research points. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Absolutely monster of a plane. What a brutal plane to look at and to fly. The firepower in this plane with the 3x37mm is absolutely a joy. You do have to get used to it a little bit in the beginning. It kicks a little bit as well, but it's a heavy plane, so it's not that terrible, and the guns are absolutely devastating. The flight model of the plane is pretty decent for such a big plane. It's absolutely huge compared to the other planes on the runway. And it still has very good acceleration. It has excellent energy retention. In the vertical it's also good climb rate. Turn time is average, but okay, what can you expect from such a beast? And the overheating and the durability, well, that's what it is. Top speed in the dive is absolutely magnificent, and the maximum speeds are quite competitive at 8.0. So all in all, a fantastic plane that you have to use as a boom and zoomer and a support plane. Come in from the fringes and you will save thousands of allies along the way. Fantastic plane. I am really enthusiastic about this plane, and it was a joy to fly her. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.